Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over NAMM 2026, specifically the top 5 pieces of DJ gear that I'm personally most excited for. Now, before we begin the video, I'd just like to remind everyone this list is entirely based on my own opinion, so if you don't agree with it, don't feel discouraged or anything. You know, everyone has their own personal preferences. There is actually quite some cool gear unveiled at NAMM, and even some gear that was unveiled before NAMM but shown off there. So to start off this list, let's talk about the Rain System 1. Now, this is the gear that I'm actually the most excited to see coming out of NAMM. It is a standalone DJ controller with motorized platters, and it's actually the world's first standalone controller with motorized platters. Now, it runs using Engine DJ, but you have the ability to plug in a laptop with it, but if you don't want to, it works completely fine in standalone mode and has a plethora of different connection options for your music. You can have an internal hard drive / SSD, plug in a USB in the back. It has built-in stems as well as stems effects. Did I forget to mention the motorized platters? I'm really happy that Rain decided to push the boundaries of the standalone controllers. For the past couple of years, controllers have been starting to get a little stale as everyone seems to be releasing the same sort of thing. So I'm glad that Rain decided to push the boundaries, and I hope other DJ companies will follow suit and release their own unique products. With everything being said, I still think there's one negative of the Rain System 1, even though it's such an amazing product, and that is the display. So me personally, I'm not a fan of the display at all. I really wish that Rain would have angled the display towards the user. I'm really worried that having a flat display on the DJ controller would cause head strain, and as well as the fact that it's a vertical display, I just really don't see myself being able to use that display that well. To be fair, the software has been very well optimized to work in that vertical orientation, and from the limited amount of reviews and first looks I've seen online, it seems to work pretty well. But me personally, that was the only thing I wished, was that the controller featured an angle display and it was horizontal. Now, the Rain System 1 is supposed to be priced at $2,500. And honestly, for everything that you're getting in this controller, I honestly think that you're actually getting a lot for the price. Kudos to the Rain team. I'm actually pretty excited to see this product. Now, the second product that I was actually really excited to see was from Hercules, and they actually showed off an early prototypes of a new controller called the DJ Control T10. Now, this controller is aimed towards battle and scratch DJs, having a very similar layout to what you would see on maybe a DDJ Rev 5, Rev 7, or other battle / scratch controllers. And what actually really sold me on this controller is that the fact that it is featuring 10-inch platters. I've honestly not seen this happen with a lot of other controllers, and it's going to give you the closest feel to what a vinyl DJ system would be able to feel like. You also have the option to change out the slip pads on the top, and so I'm actually really excited to see what they cook up with that system. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of details overall on the product, so I can't really speak on the negatives on it. So we're just gonna have to wait and see once they get closer to launch, but I was actually very excited to see that controller unveiled. Now, the third item on this list is going to be the RMX Ignite. Now, the RMX Ignite was actually unveiled a while back, but we really got to see a lot of hands-on time with it at NAMM. And the RMX Ignite is a DJ effector replacing the Pioneer DJ RMX. Now, me personally, I'm not like super excited about it, and I'm gonna explain why. With the RMX, the reason that it was such a popular DJ effector was because it had such a unique look, and it did a lot of things considering its size and the price that you're paying. Now, with Alpha Theta, they seem to have lost all the character from the original RMX, and it just looks like a flat board. Honestly, I'm not really that big of a fan of it, considering that they increased the price tag over the original RMX, and you're not getting much more compared to what the original RMX did. I'm honestly just gonna end up getting an RMX in the future. I really don't have any plans on getting an RMX Ignite. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, Alpha Theta products are like going for this new minimalistic look. I'm not really a fan of that either. Like, I just just think it makes the controller look really cheap. Now, when you look at like Pioneer DJ products, you have everything on a controller as well as everything being labeled and having text everywhere so you can like understand what you're looking at. And I'm not really a fan of that minimalistic look in general. Other people may be excited for this, but that's just my personal opinion. I think that there could have been a lot more done with the RMX Ignite, considering that there has been such a gap between this new DJ Effector and the old RMX. Now, the fourth item on this list is going to be the DJM V5. The DJM V5 is also from Alpha Theta, and it's actually a 3-channel standalone mixer meant to be used in clubs or even at home as a new entry point mixer. Now, I actually have a lot to talk about this. First of all, I really do find the 3-channel system very, very weird. I understand that most DJs only really use 2 channels. If you're like an expert or really like an amazing DJ, you're gonna end up using the 4 channels, but I would say around 80% of DJs mostly will use 2 channels. Maybe a 3rd channel to like have effects or like run a vocal track or like some other track to accompany the other tracks that are playing. I'm just really not a fan at all. Now, the price is one thing. It's supposed to be around $2,000, $2,200, and I don't see how that's affordable in any way. And the second thing is they remove the crossfader entirely. So you only have your volume faders, and I just think that's also a really weird decision. Now, I get it with a 3-channel system, it makes it like weird to use a crossfader, but even then, like, I just feel like you're not getting enough value for the money that you're paying to use that mixer. On top of that, they have that same issue with the RMX Ignite. And I think this is just an issue with just Alpha Theta gear in general, where they're going for this minimalistic look, and it just makes the controller feel cheaper. Maybe you guys disagree with me, but that's just how I feel about these like new products that are coming out of Alpha Theta. I'm not really a fan, and I really do wish they would go back to like their Pioneer DJ design language, because those products were actually incredible. Now, it does have Bluetooth, I believe, built into the DJM V5. It has passing filter called the Cross Pass filter, and some other cool additions from its big brother, which is the DJM V10. There are some cool things in this mixer for sure, but for the price and everything, I just don't feel like you're getting much, and you'd be much better off just practicing using controllers or getting a used mixer, honestly. The 5th item on this list is not really DJ focused, but it can be very useful for DJs that are producers, and that is the Akai MPC XL. The thing I'm really excited for about the Akai MPC XL is that it can work as a standalone music production system. You don't need a laptop or a computer at all running music production software. You can use it by itself. And the specs on it are actually really cool. So you have a Gen 2 8-core processor and 16 gigs of RAM. It's almost 4 times more powerful than previous MPC models. So it's able to actually run up to 16 audio tracks, up to 200 simultaneous voices, and 32 plugin instruments. And it also has some really cool little details such as OLED displays for the 16 Q-Link knobs. It has step sequencers built in and a lot of connectivity. So they have USB-C, dual XLR, multiple line outputs, SD card readers, a SATA expansion bay, and USB-A ports. It comes standard with a 256GB SSD. Honestly, I think that if you're a DJ that also produces music, this is something you should also be looking at. I'm actually really impressed with what Akai pulled off with this unit, and considering the fact that it can work without a laptop is honestly amazing. Kudos to Akai. So that is my top 5 lists from NAMM 2026. I'm very excited by the controller announcements from both Rain and Hercules. I wish Alpha Theta would have introduce some newer products. Then again, you know, I feel like Alpha Theta has been really lacking. That is gonna have to be a separate video. Yeah, without further ado, I will see you guys next week. If you guys like this video, please be sure to subscribe and like and comment down below what was your favorite product from NAMM 2026. Be sure to share this video with your friends. Thank you guys, and I will see you next week.